They're saying that ambient noise is 35 decibels. That is not true in Howard, or Prattsburg, or Avoca. Ambient decibel level around here is in the mid-20s. The World Health Organization only recommends 6 decibels above ambient. Now, there's all kinds of gimmicks that the wind company plays to measure the noise and all that, the LQ, whatever it is. It's all smoke and mirrors. And they talk about, this is compared to a dog barking, or this is compared to a tractor running. Okay, I get that. But those are temporary sounds. They do go away after a while. The wind turbine sound does not go away.
I mean, I can hear the sound of the expressway.
Yeah.
And certain days, I think there's a truck pulling in out back of my shop. I go out and look, and it's not. It's on the expressway. And I guarantee you that noise is gonna be louder than that wind turbine.
We'll see. I got 3 turbines a mile and a half from my house, and I can hear it now. So, you know, pick your poison, expressway or wind turbine.
Barry, you made a comment about a specification of 1 rotation
Yeah.
was enough for 2 houses, 1 house for 2 days?
Yes.
And that was at the rated speed?
No. Yeah, it doesn't matter if the turbine's going around like this, or if it's going around like that. Every time it goes around,
Well, the electricity is the same for all revolutions, all speeds?
I don't know how
I mean,
all that
that's
works. I don't
essentially-
know how that works in the gearboxes, you know, and how they
I don't think they
regulate
shift
all that
gears.
flow, but it's all done, you know what I mean? I mean, the faster it turns, the more electricity it produces.
Well, I would assume, that's why I asked you.
Yeah.
That specification was at the rated speed.
No, I don't believe, no, it's just, all it said was this is GE's new 830-foot turbine, one revolution, and that's what it said. So
Yeah,
I,
but it's an interesting statistic. I have a connection with a wind turbine technician.
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
check it
ask-
out.
What's that?
Let's check it out.
I'm gonna ask him, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask him tonight, in fact.
I think the older ones, the ratio was 100 to 1, so every time it went around once, it turned the generator 100 times, I believe is what it used to be, in the older ones.
Oh. Well, of course, it depends on the field and the amperage and there's a lot of specifications of
Right.
wind in these things. But I wondered if you had a revolution on that statistic, because it was very interesting to me.
Just one revolution. I guess it doesn't matter if it's going around real slow or real fast.
Yeah, the maximum
every
revolution
But
is about
inside the
15.
gearbox, they're regulating. You know, it's not like electricity's going, you know, and if they try to do a constant type thing, like a wind turbine produces energy 75 to 80% of the time, right? But it only operates at peak efficiency 30 to 35% of the time. So like Lowell was kind of mentioning, you know, just like how many days does the wind blow 35 miles an hour around here? You know, so it's all part of it. So that you're not going to get constant noise every day, the same thing every day. It's just not going to happen.
And besides that, the electric company or whoever's buying the power, if they, or the managers of the wind project, if it's cheaper to get electricity somewhere else, the turbines don't turn. Because there's days when we have nice wind and they're sitting still. A lot of days.
Kevin, you wanted to say something?
I just wonder if this board can go on record saying that a law will be in place rather than letting the old law just roll over before, you know, before contract is made.
Well, we have a law, simple enough, we have a law now.
I know.
You want us to go on record as changing the law, is that essentially what you're saying?
Updated per the planning board.
I don't think we can make that commitment.
Kevin, you know, because they haven't been reporting back to the board, have their meetings been productive, or? I haven't back there since the time, and I don't remember even what month it was.
Actually,
We went there and we discussed some options and things to think about. And then I haven't heard anything, and I haven't asked either.
They talked that years ago, one board member attended their board. And why that stopped, they really weren't sure. Maybe it was even you attended their planning board meetings.
I was on the planning board now.
Yeah, but they had a town board member attend their planning board to interject what they can or
He was a
can't. or shouldn't.
liaison between the
Yes.
boards.
Yeah, and
I tell you why, I walked away from it. There was a letter put out that blasted town board members coming to their meeting and trying to
strong arm them.
influence them. So I didn't want to influence, but we went after that meeting, we said we'd meet and we talked to them and, you know, get some options. Didn't tell them what to do, what they need to do. We talked about options and so on, and I haven't heard anything back. As far as, you know, trying to say that we are gonna guarantee anything, till we see what they come back. You know, I couldn't guarantee you whether we,
Well, I guess the obvious question is, what's the reason of having a planning board if no one ever, or no, I don't say no one, but if their outcome or decisions aren't considered?
well, we had, when I was on the planning board, we had other laws that the planning board thought were good laws, but when it came here, they were voted down, because there was a popular opinion that they weren't a good law. So, you know, it's not new.
They talked about at the last planning board meeting that they were, I thought somebody was gonna talk to you guys, they want to have a public hearing. See what the public thinks about all this. Now, I don't know anything about
They could have a
that.
public hearing. They believe that would be within their authority to have a public hearing. If they want to have a public hearing, they have a public hearing.
I thought
Well, I
that
think
they
they had to
had
get
to get the
approval.
okay.
Oh, they wanted us to have a public hearing. That's
No, I
different.
think they wanted your approval.
Oh, of course.
But I don't know yet.
Yeah, I think Jack Bassard was supposed to get a hold of the board to get that in motion.
Well, I'll call him tomorrow. I got a couple other things I want to ask him anyway. So, call him and see where that is.
So like, if a setback, we understand the law there, if a setback is deemed excessive by the wind turbine, you know, or that the state can come in and waive that, right? If they
Yes.
feel that the setback is excessive, the state can waive it. So
Correct.
that's why the board is being careful not to have these setbacks excessive, because the wind turbine, or the state can say, oh, well, and we're gonna do
Right.
it this way.
So let them.
Let them. Why wouldn't you
Why
let them?
wouldn't you let the state be the bad guy and not these poor fellows?
Well, it's in the town's best interest to work
necessarily.
with the wind turbine people, to work with them. You know, if you kind of wash the wind turbine people's hands, they're gonna wash yours. Who knows, they might give X amount of money to help do this for the town and do that. If you get them upset, they're not gonna do that. And it's foolish, be foolish of the town. To turn that type of stuff down, you don't wanna do that. That's why you work with these people.
Kevin and Mr. Wagner, is there any setback that would be acceptable to you?
I'll give you my opinion. I think the planning board did due diligence. You paid a lot of money for attorneys to go to the meetings. You paid a lot of money for the engineering firms. And they came up with a proposal to you guys. And that, I don't think it's a bad proposal, personally.
And as far as my rip, I'm more concerned of my land, the property lines versus my house. I just bought another 100 acres to enjoy it, and now I'm being snitzeled because of this boondoggle.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it was anything 500 feet and over, it was 6 times the height, is that correct?
3/4 of a mile. 600.
Yeah.
So,
That's good. Which was
from a residence.
From a residence. It's still 1.1 times
Yeah,
from the
that-
property line.
So I would try to cut the windows down to maybe 2 or 3. Okay.
So my opinion on that is if it don't fit, it don't fit.
Well, then they have, I would think it'd be their, come upon the windmill's responsibility to find another location that would fit within that area, that guideline.
Or compensate the people, that's what Jim Fodge has been saying, let the turbine company earn it, work for it.
I mean, I think they do compensate, if they screw up a road, they make it 10 times better than it ever was, now that's compensation. The fire department benefits, the schools benefit, the taxpayers benefit from lower taxes, everybody benefits, we're all compensated.
Have you asked them if they'd compensate you as a neighbor?
They wouldn't even take a 3D, or give me what it would look like for the noise and the simulation view. So, no, they have not.
Another holdup too is the aviation deal, right? So, that's another holdup.
It is, okay.
Mr. Kidder, I'm not opposed to the green energy at all. It's when and you know what I'm talking about, where this turbine's actually gonna be going. And because it's much, much lower than my residence, that means I'm gonna be staring right at the thing, less than 2,000 feet off my deck. To me, it just doesn't fit. I mean, it's just plain and simple.
Like I say, on winter property, that's fine, but, walk and shut them down, I don't see that. I mean, but some people I understand, if you don't like the looks of them, you don't like the looks of them. It's plain and simple, but a lot of people do like the looks of them. It don't bother me a bit. It doesn't bother me. It's not like, now you would go out there every day and look at that wind turbine and drive yourself nuts. Because I've known you for so long.
I wouldn't have a choice. I mean, I go out there every day.
That's what you go
And
nuts.
and don't tell me this, you were the same way a year ago about the 27 that are across the valley from us. So don't tell me that I'm different than you. You were the same way until they.
I never was opposed to those across there. I didn't mind looking at them.
Well, yeah, they're 5 miles away.
They're far away.
Yeah. I mean, when I go to Parkton that way, when those first went up, I know I don't pay any attention to those
You're
things.
driving by them, you're not living and staring at them 24/7.
But you'll get used to them. You'll get used to them.
I'll
Well-
be dead by then.
Could be in bed some of that time.
Look at,
Yeah, we're being a dead
well, we're going back and forth, and
Yeah, right, I agree.
the air conditioning isn't working real
You'll
well.
be in bed part of that Wednesday hours.
So, but we appreciate your input.
So you will contact the planning board to
I will
see?
contact Jack tomorrow.
And if not Jack, I think Jim LaFage, he
I can
had
still second it. Big roll the
Play it.
Yep, I can get Jack's number in my phone,
See how it goes.
I've known him forever, so pretty easy to stop and see him, so I will do one or two.
Right now?
Lowell has a motion. Oh, you don't have a
Old business, we put union contract negotiations under there, we, was supposed to come up with some things we want to put on there. This isn't the place to discuss that, but we probably ought to, come up with a list, and, we can certainly call a special meeting here in 10 days, 2 weeks, sit down and come up with a list, and then we can start. I'll contact them about starting some negotiations in September,
I've done some work on it.
So-
I have 4 contracts.
so, anyway, we just put that on there for, just to update us. New business. We don't forget, we probably we want to set a dollar limit on a copier because we need a copier.
So we get some prices. I mean, the one in Kansas Steel, I think was around 800 or 900. That was
I remember you saying it was under 1,000.
Yeah, it was under 1,000, so we could just arbitrarily say 1,000 if we had one. And then, of course, there's service contracts and there's crap like that, that they, sometimes it's good, good, sometimes bad. Canistew's had good luck with theirs. I don't know if they took a service contract or not.
Can you find out?
Yeah, I can find out about their copier.
I remember you said they bought it on eBay, right?
Yep.
But you still might be able to get a service contract.
Probably, I mean, it's not gonna come from eBay.
No,
I think
it's gotta
it
come
was
from
Amazon,
company.
I think it was Amazon. Could have been an eBay store.
Yeah, well,
I
you
can
see if they did that too. I mean, that furnishes you ink and service and,
Well,
but,
yeah.
I mean, this other one's been around forever and he is dead.
So, I guess, not knowing what copiers cost, make a resolution of a limit.
Yeah, that's really what I'm looking at. I mean, Rhonda started to ask some questions and look at some stuff. She didn't get one found for tonight, I know that. We didn't discuss that this morning, but, I mean, we could probably set a dollar limit.
Well, what's our contractual for that office? I mean, so,
I don't know, but I mean, we also, the assessor uses it also, so it's not just that office.
yeah, but it should fit within our budget, that's only.
Does $1,000 buy you a good end product?
I don't know,
Who knows?
to be honest.
I only know the one that Canisteo Village bought was, it's one where you can put a stack in the top, it's a big concept.
It's got a feeder.
It's got a feeder, and I think it does legal, it's got 2 pans for legal and regular. That's really about all I know about it.
All right,
It's also hooks to the,
so you can print
hooks
from
to,
your
you can
computer.
print from your computer, you can get a fax
I
on
see.
it, it'll do those
We
kinds of
don't
things.
need, we don't need the fax part, but the print from the computer would be nice.
Yeah, so then you're not using your printer all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll check on that?
I will check on
All
that,
right.
and Ron will be back eventually. If she say $1,000 and she can get one, she better go ahead and get it instead of waiting a month.
Yeah, we don't want to wait a month.
So,
We need it before then.
yeah, I'll make a motion, we set a dollar limit of $1,000 for the town clerk office copy. And,
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Highway Department report, Lee.
Yesterday I turned in, $388,281.01 for reimbursement and chips for September 15th. Okay. Out of that 437,000, we have about 48,000 left in change. Put some gravel on Graves Hill, Middle Road, Green Palmer, Great Graves, Middle, and we're over on Bennett now. We're gonna be moving to the north side next week. Roadside mowing is not a constant thing, it's a hit and miss. When we don't need them 2 guys in dump trucks, they're out mowing. Oil and Stone, we finished that last week. The new roller showed up last Friday. Enjoyed the suite a couple of weeks early. Wish there was a bill in there tonight for that. Discussed the sand price for this year. Last year's price was $464 for the $2,000 excavator fee to break up the Devil's concrete over there in Pittsburgh's Pit. This year's price went up 46 cents, $5.10. Excavator price went up $500 to $2,500. That's where we're at with sand price. Blades and night settlement are still pushing right around $9-10 a ton.
For that 510, how many tons?
Well, we put 5,000 up last year. Are you doing 5 this year?
Does that include paying the fit on to it? Or is that just a,
No, that's just crushing. It's just crushing, so just figure 250 loads. $20. Would be plus or minus, you know? got a tire quote for the backhoe. That's